What's going on, people? Welcome back to Carefree Lewis G. Welcome back to another video for you guys. I'm sorry that daily uploads had to end. I was busy over the night meeting a couple of my mates from uni that I hadn't seen in ages. But we're back here for another video. I waited as well for after the Manchester United Sevilla match because I had a feeling there was going to be some chaos, and there was some chaos. English clubs have all failed this year, is what it is, but it still doesn't change the fact that Manchester United have bottled 3 semi-finals this season, and it is glorious to watch. But I'm also here with Neil from Beyondthe90lcfc. Any opening thoughts you want to say, bro?
Let's not rile the Man United fans now. I'll leave that one out. But we managed to beat. We just managed to beat Sevilla at home, so we're happy. So we've gone further than Man United to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. But hey, we'll see what we do next year in Europa. But they've got Champions League, so they'll be fine.
Comments already started, people getting gassed over this. We are here. Main concept of this video, we are going to be talking about the Ben Chilwell rumors because over the weekend they've gathered some serious steam, and I wanted to speak to you about it as well because I'm not so sure about those sources. They're mostly really strong Leicester sources, but I don't really know Leicester people like that, so I wanted to ask you, how serious are these rumors?
To be honest, I've not looked too in depth into the people, but they seem to be from Leicester side, as you were saying. But whether or not it happens now or by the end of the season, it's pretty much going to happen. So I'm pretty sure that if it's not happening now, as you're going to say, by the end of the season, just as we've seen with Maguire, just like we've seen with Drinkwater at the end of the season, you guys know, like it happened, a last minute deal. It's going to happen eventually, and it looks like Lampard is set on signing him. So I'm pretty sure it is going to happen. But for the fee that apparently we're charging, it does seem like a lot. Because I remember I was coming on your show last time and saying like we'd get maximum, like maybe we'd get 60 mil, but it seems like it's 60 mil plus 10 mil add-ons.
Yeah, I've heard about 60, around 60, 70. I've heard 65. You're in 60 plus add-ons. For anyone who hasn't heard it, but most of you guys have probably heard it by now, Ben Chilwell apparently packed his bags at Leicester on Friday and was on his way to Cobham with a medical due for the next coming days. And apparently the deal's all going to be sorted by the end of next week or sometime around then. But it's just been a huge acceleration over the last couple of days, which is also surprising from our point of view because I remember, what's his name? Matt Law putting out an article about a week or two ago saying after we get Kai Havertz, we're going to go after a left back, a goalkeeper, and a centre back, but we also have to sell one in each position in order to buy one as well. So it's come as a surprise that we're buying first again before we're selling, but we do know one is going to be coming out the way as well. And also coming out of that Sevilla game as well, you've got to look at players like Reguilon as well. Reguilon had an amazing performance against Manchester United. He was really giving them trouble down that left-hand side. I think you also had the assist for the first goal as well. And I've seen a lot of people say that we should be pushing for Reguilon. And I'm one of those guys who, for the price tag, I would prefer to take him as well. But the one thing that I will give about Ben Chilwell, and I feel like we've also kind of overshadowed it ourselves because of the price tag and tried to say, okay, maybe we shouldn't get him because of this or this. And I feel like we're being a bit harsh over it because the price tag just looks like a lot. And once you hit the 60 to 80 million region with a transfer, you're looking for the complete package. And right now, Ben Chilwell doesn't look like the complete package, but with the fact that Lampard wants him and Ashley Cole are both pushing for him, we've spent so many years saying the managers don't get backed. We don't give the managers the transfers they want. Out of all the other options, Frank Lampard's looking dead on and saying, no, I want Ben Chilwell. If it's at that point, then I've got to put my hands up and say, go for it.
Yeah, I think you're right to a certain extent. You need to back it. And the thing is, I think so far, when you're signing Ziyech, when you're signing Werner, the things are moving in the right direction. They're quality European signings that are coming to your squad. Chilwell, the thing is, if you can get the best out of him, this guy's going to be brilliant. We saw it for us, but I tell you what, he's just not been performing since January, and he just seems to kind of go off a cliff a little bit. I think the issue is he just doesn't seem to push onto that next level. Like the best Chilwell I've seen is that, kind of it's quite similar to Alonso in some sense, but from what I've seen of Alonso, he'll get down the wing a lot or kind of cut in. With Ben Chilwell, his play is sometimes to cut in on the inside and really speed up the middle of the pitch, and it really breaks lines because teams don't really know what to do when a fullback is coming at them through the center of the park. Do they close in? Do other people come out? and his crossing is a bit. It's been since January. If you compare him, he's not worth 60 mil for sure. But if Lampard can get the best out of him, he can be a really, really good player. But we've just not seen it happen for us. And you would have thought with a manager like Brendan Rodgers, he would have got the best out of him. But I think his head has been turned. And we did a video on your show about, I think last week or the week before or something, about like all the stuff that's happening in January. And so I recommend people go and watch that one where I broke down basically why he is coming to Chelsea and why we are going to sell him eventually.
Check that one out because there's a lot of like little reasons that have been hidden that no one was really looking at too deep, but Neil went into some real shit on that video, so check that one out if you guys haven't. Also, that also helps to answer one of the questions as well that we were asked on Twitter, because CFC Ryan did ask how good his crossing's been, so that helps to understand that one. Another question I do want to ask, and that's something that we did kind of talk about in the last video, but I also want to try and round it off a bit on this one as well. Why did Chilwell suffer a massive drop-off after December? That's S Khalifa 123 that asks.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why the drop off is the whole team dropped off after we lost. But if you want to talk about Chilwell specifically, you can again go watch that video that we were saying. But long story short, he was dropped for a game because apparently he was bragging to the other Leicester players that I've got to move to Chelsea. Come in, I'm going to go to the big league, go into the Chelsea, for example, and they didn't like that. Brendan Rodgers just didn't like that at all. So, there's loads of other reasons why that is the case. But I think the whole squad in general, we just slipped out of that top four and we just kind of coasted the rest of the season and it wasn't good enough, hence why we dropped out. But specifically for Chilwell, if you can get the guy playing with confidence, this guy is honestly, he's fantastic. And he's definitely got a few more levels to go up. But from what we've seen at Leicester, I don't think there's any manager that can get better out of him with this team that we've currently got.
Okay, that's an interesting way of thinking about it then, because that kind of pushes off in a bad sense. I want to ask you about this question as well. Do you think that this is the fact that he can't defend is something real, or do you think it's something that's been massively overhyped? Because I know his aerial ability is a huge part of his game, and that's also been one of the reasons why Frank Lampard wants to get him as well, because aerially we suck. Straight up, aerially we're terrible. And that's going to be something that's going to help us when it comes to either defending set pieces or attacking them as well, because when it comes to both we ain't that good compared to corners. But I'll ask you the question as well. Is this a legit statement, or do you think it's a bit over the top?
It's over the top, but he's better going forward than he is defending. His abilities to go forward and to backtrack, yes, he's not the best. If he's coming up against a player like we've seen this season when he's coming up against a Mahrez or a world-class winger like a Sterling, he will be shown, his weaknesses will be shown. He's better off playing as a back three and him playing wing back. I think you guys have with the 3-5-2 when you won the league with Alonso and Moses. That's his probably ideal position. So from a defensive perspective, you don't really need that when you're playing a back three. But if you're going to play him with an out-and-out left back, he's going to offer you very different things. But he'll offer you more going forwards in terms of creating opportunities, dragging people out of position than actually going and scoring worldies or going and like defending solidly as a solid left back.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Another thing as well that we need to talk about when it comes to Chilwell is some of the reception that he's received from Chelsea fans even before that, because some of the message I've been seeing under some of the tweets and everything has just been mad. And seriously, people are criticizing players and they haven't even put our shirt on. Like, I've been seeing him getting death threats. I've been seeing him getting all sorts of abuse. And to be honest, guys, it's embarrassing straight up, but like this guy says as well, if we're going to attack Chilwell, he isn't going to play well due to psychological pressure, and he's also probably going to leave as well. Here's the thing with Chilwell. As a left back, he is not terrible. Like, look at it. Just because the price tag is 60 million doesn't mean we're signing some next bum or anything like that. This is a quality left back. There's some holes in his game, yes, but there's still area for him to improve. And with our training facilities and everything like that, and with the staff that we have in source, he is going to develop at Chelsea. It's more of a case of, look at what Jose Mourinho said when Drogba joined, and everyone said 24 million for a striker who's done next to nothing was stupid. He said, judge him when he leaves the club. And I think the same thing needs to apply for this one as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a good Yeah, just for that one, he can't play centre back. He's not one of them kind of left backs that can play centre back. He's maybe when he gets older, but not for now. He's too pacey. A quick point to what you were saying earlier as well, with like he is a very psychologically the psychology gets to him a lot. Like the players used to get on his the Leicester fans have been getting on his back since January, because what he used to do is go. I think I said last time I was on, go forward, get the ball, run for. When he's attacking people, he's deadly. When he's got his confidence up, but when he's not got that, he'll just kind of not sure what to do and pass it back. And maybe if Frank can get that out of him, brilliant. But I think overall, he again, you don't get into the England squad being the number one left back out of nothing. Like, he is a decent enough player, and he's enough to come through the ranks and get picked for the England team and stuff. It's not easy to get in that England team, especially that left back position. And he's managed to come in and hold that position down. So he's not terrible for sure, but I think it's easy to see all his flaws. But at the end of the day, I think as Leicester fans, we've seen enough for us to go, right, we'll take the 60 mil for sure.
Another question here, physical attributes. Do you think that's the case of Chilwell, that he's a bit weak on the ball? Or do you think that's another one where it's out of nothing?
That's a good question. He's not. The thing is, you look at him and he's not built, but he's not. He's playing as a. I'd say he's probably, if you want to compare him to your left backs at the moment, who you see? You got Alonso, and who's your other left back?
Emerson, but Emerson's just needs to go anyway. He's probably the one gone.
I'd say he's weaker than probably. He's less physical than probably both of them. But what he lacks in physicality, he'll make up for in just overall pace, and he'll make up for in just ball creativity. Because if you can get him playing, I'll tell you what, he's a hell of a player, and that's probably why Frank Lampard has spotted him. And look, Frank Lampard and Ashley Cole, these two are England legends. They know what they're talking about. So, as much as I'm trying to say, I'm trying to give you the good and the bad at the same time. But but he's a decent player, and when they see a player like that and they want him, they're wanting to play 60 mil. You're thinking he's got to be worth something, because if you're paying more for him than you are for Werner and Ziyech, I mean, they're definitely seeing something.
So would you definitely say it's the case that he's more technical than he is physical or anything like that? Yeah,
and he's pretty good at putting it across. He can do set pieces as well. If you've got a left-sided set piece, he'll be decent at that. But obviously, we've got Maddison and Tielemans on the team, so they take priority over him. But I think he's evolves as a benchmark. That's quite funny. But again, Barcelona were poor, so you can't exactly. He was brilliant, but at the same time, it was just he was good as much as Barcelona were terrible defensively. So, but again, that clip's going to get played around the internet, and he deserves to have that when he retires. That clip just kind of like.
You see the one against us? I think he beat Reece James. He just sped past Christensen like he was nothing and assisted Lewandowski.
No, I didn't.
It's the first time I've seen Reece James get battered. I always back Reece James. I still will, but that's the first time I looked at a game and was like, raw. This guy's good, you know. But on this one as well, I won't ask you a question about Chilwell's pace or anything, but I will ask you about Chilwell on the turn, because that was another question we got asked for on Twitter as well. How good is he when he comes back to the transition from attacking to defense? Because we've seen him get caught out in games a good couple of times, and is that another weakness to his game?
That's another good point. I don't know on the turn. I've not really saw him get turned too much, to be perfectly honest with you, so I don't have an exact answer, but I don't think he's too bad. He's not particularly slow, and even if he is slow on the turn, he can make up with pace. So
not more on the turn, but more like if you're making an attack, is he more likely to get caught out of position and not be able to get back in time? Because that's been a huge problem we've had with Marcos Alonso, because he's just slow as hell. So he'll get the ball up forward, or he'll be up in an attack. We'll lose the ball somewhere and they'll start a quick counter-attack. And that's because there's a massive amount of space on the left side, because Alonso's slow. He jogs back, and if he knows he's losing the fight, he's just going to stop. He ain't going to show any effort to it.
I think overall, he'd be better for sure than Alonso. He's definitely got the pace to be able to take players out, to get back and at least make a body back and to defend from that perspective. So it'll be a definite improvement on Alonso, especially from a defensive point of view. But the difference is, I don't think he's as physical as an Alonso is. So once Alonso, I think, gets back, he's all right defensively. Chilwell can get back easier, but he'll need other players to back him up. He's a one-on-one. I've not seen him put any like massive sliding tackles in that will win loads of stuff, if you know what I mean.
Oh, one-on-ones. That's actually a very good question to ask as well, because Azpilicueta, when he was at his prime, he's still at his prime now, and he's had an amazing season and recovered from what was a not so good start to the season. But when he was like consistently doing it for years straight, one of his best aspects to his game was his one-on-one defensive work, and one-on-one you just couldn't beat the man. Would you say the same thing for him or not?
Well, the thing is, I think he would be decent, but so when we have set pieces, right, him and Pereira will stay back as our two fullbacks, right? Again, yeah, he got taken apart by Mahrez, but Mahrez is just such a quality, and when he's on game and like he was against Man United, any left back in the league is going to struggle. So
you man were all about Mahrez, and you remember that goal against us. I think it was Jose's last game.
Yeah.
I say one-on-one defending with Azpi. He had Azpi on ropes that day.
Yeah, exactly.
So that speaks for itself.
Yeah, when Mahrez is on form, we know firsthand he can just out batter anybody. And it was when he's playing for you, and you've probably seen players like that, when they're playing for you, when Hazard's on form, you're just the happiest person in the world. When they play against, when they play against you, you hate it because you know exactly what's coming. But I can't remember what was the other point you were saying? I can't remember that before.
What was it? Was it 1v1s we were talking about?
Yes. So that was it.
Yeah,
so
1v1.
he's always so from set pieces and stuff is 1v1s because we're not great from set pieces at the moment. Ricardo and Chilwell will be the two that are running back and defending. But I have seen more of defensive qualities from Ricardo, but that's not taking anything from Chilwell. If you see what I mean, Ricardo's just on another level. Like he's definitely worth 60, 70 mil, but he's just injured at the moment, so I don't know if anybody's going to come after him. But
for you guys,
yeah, exactly. And we just need to keep holding for at least a year. We'll have to see. But Chilwell from that position, he's not as good as Ricardo, but that's not saying that much because we've not really got beat that much from a defensive perspective or one-on-one because we've got Ndidi sweeping up. So I say he would be okay, but that's just from. I've not really seen it. I watched most Leicester games, but I've not seen it from that perspective, to be honest.
Okay, guys, before we wrap this up, also just send in any Chilwell question that you guys want answered as well in the comment section. This one's an interesting one. Chilwell or Tagliafico, who's better? I think, my personal opinion, it comes to European experience, I would give it to Tagliafico, but I think what also pushes it in Chilwell's favour is age is in his favour. And also, I'm going to sound like a huge Yadar saying this, but the English barrier is also a huge reason for it as well when it comes to defensive organisation and needing to communicate with your players. That's the one thing he's got over Reguilon and Tagliafico. And that could become very handy, especially when it comes to defence over any other position.
And let's face it, if Chilwell wasn't English, you're not paying 60 mil for him. For
I
sure
think
not.
like a 20 million English tax when it comes to this point, at least.
But the thing is, that's our bread and butter. We've done it with Maguire. We've done it with Danny. We got Danny Drinkwater for 35 mil from you guys. So we've charged that extra. Bearing in mind, we charged the same amount for Kante, and so Drinkwater.
No, if anything, I don't think we gave you enough. I think Drinkwater's going to get revenge. It evens it out a little bit more.
yeah, which I kind of understand. But again, as you were saying, like English players come with that price tag, and to be honest, not justifiably so in my opinion. But in the case of Chilwell and Drinkwater and even Maguire is not an £80 million player. But again, we're getting on with it. I think it's just seeing your comment down here. Madison is losing form. Vardy's getting old. This is bad for Leicester. Madison isn't losing that much form. He's just been injured, so he's not been playing. The whole squad has been kind of. He's getting old, yes, but he keeps. If you were going to say, is this the year that Vardy's going to get the golden boot? Everybody would have told you no. So he's still repping it in for quite a decent. He's got another couple of years in him. We're looking at investing in future talent and stuff like that. But I think we'll be all right for next season. We'll just have to see because we had such a dip towards the end of the season. We'll just have to see how we recover. If we don't recover, then it's just downhill. We saw the same thing when we. Our Great Escape season, then we went on to win the league because that momentum carried us through. We'll just have to see.
Looking at a couple more of these questions. Someone says, when's Chilwell's medical? That's meant to be in like the next few days. So that's looking like a Potentially Monday, Tuesday thing. We're still waiting for when sources here, but it's meant to be in the next coming days with him leaving on Friday. And everyone's asking, is Chilwell good in the air? Aerial ability is meant to be one of his best attributes, if I am correct in saying that.
He's all right, but when we're taking set pieces, he's not normally near it because, as you were saying, he's normally like for the one-on-ones for the pace in case we get caught on the counter. So normally the centre backs are in the middle, and him and Ricardo are towards the back, just catching up any loose threads or if anybody's trying to break away. So I don't really know because he's never really in that position from a set piece.
Okay, all right, cool. This is a comment I actually like hearing. Chilwell going to be so composed having Kante's recovery pace to help him out. Do you feel like there could be a decent partnership between the pair of them? Because that's going to be two players that you do know very well.
Kante would be a good player overall, I think. But again, we've got Ndidi, and Ndidi's decent. But the issue isn't the mopping up as much. It's about Chilwell's ability to go forward. Again, if you've got a player like Kante, I think, have you guys put him up for sale? Because you said there was five Chelsea players that they were putting up for sale in order to raise funds for the...
Can't be Kante. I really hope it is. I don't think it is Kante. Some fans want him because he's had an injury-prone season. They think he's now getting a bit over the hill. But I think it's all stupidness that they're all talking about. Kante still needs to stay. One more year.
The engine on him is insane. As
and
we
exactly,
know, he's got another 4 years easy.
Exactly. And once he loses legs, he can play in the Makelele role that everyone's been screaming that he plays for years. And then he'll be able to play for even longer years. In fact, that comment there, that's exactly what the problem has been with Kante. We've rushed him back so many times from injury. And when you do that, eventually he's just going to get more injured because you don't give him the amount of time that he needs. Fair play to Kante because he's going to smile and he's always going to jump back onto the pitch. That's just the person that he is. But sometimes a manager just needs to stop and be like, no, bro, rest. Please, just rest. I remember you were telling me about the cycle and everything.
Yeah, and just play. If you play him as a CDM on his own, he knows what he's doing. Just goes, leave the rest to me. We essentially played Kante and Drinkwater, and we won the league with it. So we know exactly how brilliant this guy is. And bearing in mind, you've got Wes Morgan and Robert Huth, which aren't pacey defenders, which are just like no-nonsense defenders. And he mopped up everything and had the ability to travel, get the ball and just travel with it so far and just make up what we're kind of struggling with Ndidi. We'll get the ball and pay a player like a 10-yard pass and kind of there's that momentum's not still there. So again, we'll do a swap deal for you. I'd happily take Chilwell for Kante again, even though we've got Ndidi.
I thought you were saying Ndidi for Kante. I was thinking, don't say that. There'll be Chelsea fans that will probably take that. What? Any other last question? This one I might leave as a last question. Leadership qualities. Are you feeling on that front, or do you feel like it's too young for him right now?
Yeah, and for the players that we have, to be honest, I wouldn't. He's too young to tell, but from what I've seen so far, not really. He's one of the followers rather than a leader. From what I've seen in Leicester, just from the perspective of he won't really command that position like a Christian Fuchs, for example, that will command that position and know what he's doing with that. So he's not in the same way you look at him like in a Leicester. You don't really see fullbacks as leaders, to be honest, in the pitch. It's normally like a centre mid or a centre back or a strike, like a Harry Kane kind of thing. But look at it for England. Could you see Chilwell leading for England? And I just couldn't see it.
It never really struck me out as a leader or nothing. Nothing right now, especially. Maybe in future with more experience, but not really for right now. Any last questions? Centre backs. Right now, I don't really have any off the top of my head. I'd say I'd go for Upamecano, but he just signed a contract till 2023, so that is completely in the mud. I don't mind Declan Rice, but that's only if we were to sell Rudiger and Christensen first, because I think we need an experienced centre-back first before we look at a younger prospect. I think Declan Rice would still take another year to settle down, and that's fine. Long term will be good, but right now we need experience as well. So I'd rather we go for an experienced centre-back. Any other questions? I don't think we're having one. Just another one saying Man United lost. So yeah. I might just leave it at that. So yeah, guys. Neil, if you want to just shout yourself out quickly, Beyondthe90lcfc.
Yeah, so make sure to come follow us on because the Chilwell stuff's not done yet, but we'll pretty much guarantee that when it's finally all done, when everything's wrapped up, that Lewis will come on our channel, we'll go on your channel again, and then we'll do another video just kind of a similar kind of vein about what's going on, the exact pricing and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, make sure to come over to on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram to Beyond the 90 LCFC. Love to have you over there because Chilwell stuff's going to maybe go on for a bit longer, but we look forward to next season as well, what's happening with Europa and stuff that's going on in Leicester. So yeah, make sure to come at us. I think you'll see my name as well, Beyond the 90 at Beyond the 90 LCFC.
Yes, guys, check out Beyond the 90 LCFC. I'm literally leaving all the socials in the link in the description below right now. So yes, guys, check that out. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Carefree Lewis G as well. Check out this video in a couple of days once the Ben Chilwell deal is sorted out as well, because I think this has just been the perfect player profile for him. Check out Beyond the 90 LCFC as well. Again, all links are down in the description. I'm going to be doing another video as well for them on their channel as well, so check that out too. And we'll have another transfer video out for you guys tomorrow. Take care and up the Chelsea. Also, United lost. Ha ha.